Everybody. Here we are in the second week of the plague. And as we continue on our dialects, we're going to move to something that is a little closer to home. Everybody talked about how difficult Scottish was, and I agree. Scottish is a dialect I do not do real well. Irish, I feel great with. Cockney, I'm good. English, Scottish is harder. So we're looking at something closer to home. American Southern. Southern dialects have lots of variations. There is the Appalachian or mountain dialect that comes from the region we live in, West Virginia, Southwest Virginia, Tennessee, Kentucky. That's really not what we're looking at in this lesson. We're looking at more of a deep Southern, a kind of a stereotypical accent from, say, Alabama or Georgia. Specifically a little more genteel than the redneck dialect. So, vowel substitutions in this dialect. First of all, as in men, becomes as in men. Tennessee becomes Tennessee. It's a little more nasal, but this is a standard substitution in the dialect. Becomes we also drop the sound in murder becomes murder. We drop the R sound. First becomes first. Then we have the schwa sound being replaced for the schwa R, like in murder becomes murder. Father becomes father. That losing that R sound at the end of that syllable. We also have, which is a little more rednecky, the use of the for I. So, for instance, the Civil War was due to states' rats instead of states' rights. States' rats. Hat for height. Of vowel sounds that we find in this dialect. With the phoneme, we often add a Y, so it becomes, instead of man, it becomes man. Or law becomes law. And so we have those extensions of certain vowel sounds. And again, dialect are pretty simple. There's mainly two. That's the loss of R, which we've already talked about some while talking about vowel substitutions. And then ing sounds get clipped to just N. So we're stepping or going instead of stepping or going. All right, so let's get to the exercises, and you'll get more of a context and see how these go. So we're on the key sound word drills on page 42. First, number 1, the turns to I. Any, men, into, Tennessee, 20, when, general, tender, temper, been. Number 2, we're changing the backward 3 for the So we get early, earn, earnest, bird, dirt, pursue, purse, word, blur, her, prefer, were. Number 3 is the replacement of the schwa sound for the schwa R, like you'll find in murder, father, adore. So it becomes murder, father, adore, horror, liar. Number 4, we are changing the I sound, as in right, time, fine, to the A sound. Right, time, fine, my, life, like. Number 5 are vowel extensions. Man, bath, hand, am, and. And then the second part of that is aw for ah. So, for instance, dog, you've all heard me say this over and over again. Dog, when we say it in the South, becomes dog. I talk about my dogs all the time. So, dog, hog, law, bought, fault, paw. Diphthongal changes. These are just, there is the adding of sounds. So if you look at number 1, add, after, ask, ant, basket, laughter, path, glass. Just got that addition of the schwa sound. Same thing with all, ought, all, author, jaw, saw, court, short, if, ill, is, itch, dish, kick. Number 4, book, could, cushion, stood. Number 5, ark, rock, scarf, yard, ah. Number 6, ebb, edit, egg, bed, deck, head, met, tell, well, went. Number 7, liar, fire, hire, hire. Number 8, take, neighbor, age, babe, face, may, stray. All right, so that's the vowel and diphthongal changes. Now let's look at consonant substitutions. Consonant substitutions, as I said, are a little easier. We've got just the softening of the R sound. So again, this is number 1, consonant substitutions. Barrier, scarce, marshal, distortion, environment, worth, marry, harry, bury, but. Oh, that's the end of those. Okay. Then we also drop the final ing. No, I skipped some. So then we drop final R's like bar, star, car. We drop, or sometimes we substitute that dropped R with a schwa sound. So door becomes door. Hear the at the end? Door. Floor. Where. There. Bear. And then we substitute in for the ing. Falling, running, thinking, going. And again, they point out in the book, going is sometimes gone. Then we've got some special pronunciations here. We often drop the T in sentence, so it becomes sentence. Important, strength, my, I, sir. All right, so fixing to get to the key sounds in sentence context, but we'll pause here. As we get into these next exercises, as you need to, you can hit the pause button if I get a little fast and you need to catch up with me. Now in the key sounds in sentence context, page 43. So I will pause at the end of each sentence and you can say it after me. Again, if you need to pause it, feel free to do so, because you're sitting watching this by yourself and it really has no control of what I want you to do. So, number 1, the sense of these sentences is not important. When did these men enter that part of Tennessee? He lost his temper in front of his general. Number 2. The early birds were a blur in the sky. Sir, I prefer not to say a word about that old purse. Number 3. The murder of his father filled him with horror. I adore the 4 gentle horses. Remember that is sounding gentle. I adore the 4 gentle horses. Number 4. I had a right fine time at the party. He might not like ripe pears. Number 5. The man put his hand in the bath. I am and I am not going to go over there, so there. When the dog bit the hog, he broke the law. Paul and Saul fought to a draw. All right, now we look at the diphthongal changes. Ask your aunt if she will take the glass from the basket. He sat down after the laughter was over. Number 2. You all ought to law that another... Wait, hold on a minute. You all ought to law that author in court. There was a short call at the auction. Number 3. Did you put the dish inside the tent? Number 4. Would you please stand the book where it should be? Number 5. I think the ark hit the rock in the yard. Number 6. Well, I said I was going to put my bed at the edge of the entrance. Number 7. That liar said the tire was on fire. Number 8. I aim to take my neighbor to the face of the cliff. At his age, he may stray away. All right, then we go to consonant substitutions. First, we're doing the clipped or the loss of the, or softening of the R sound. Number 1, Mary had scarcely met Harry at the barrier when the marshal appeared to perform his part of the ceremony. The bar on the door had fallen to the floor, and it lay there under the chair. I have been running, number 2, I have been running and stumbling and falling all over. Then we have the special pronunciations. I have not got the strength to enunciate this important sentence. I have not got the strength to enunciate this important sentence. All right. That's the end of the sounds in sentence context. I will go next to some of the other exercises.